All right, they're doing a briefing on Whitmer's, plot to kill her or whatever. Listen to one of the guys' names, the FBI guy.
District of Michigan, Matthew Schneider. Any moment now, we will have the FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Josh Hoaxhurst, and we have Michigan.
The guy has hoax in his name. He works for the FBI. He's on this breaking news case. You know they love their play on words. The guy has hoax in his name.
Assistant Special Agent in...
Unless he doesn't and she messed up and she's just used to saying hoax and just wanted to call it a hoax.
In Charge, Josh Hoaxhurst, and we have Michigan State Police Colonel Joe Gasper. The interagency effort represented here in tandem with my office culminated...
Hoax. All right, so that guy's name doesn't have hoax in it, but she still called him Hoaxhurst. She's about to say his real name here.
Continue with my remarks. I see that FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Josh Hoaxhurst, is here.
That's weird. You got it right. You called him Hoaxhurst here, but before you called him Hoaxhurst. Why'd you drop the hoax word during a big, huge breaking news event?
To bring him up for a few remarks.
It's kind of weird. I never understood why they would have to read off of a script. They're an FBI agent that was just a part of this story. They should know everything with the case. But as usual, they're reading off of a script.
An operation of this scope cannot occur without the assistance of law enforcement agencies, large and small. We're incredibly proud of the work of our agents, task force.
He's struggling with it too. I just don't understand. It'd just be easier to just go off the top of your dome, right? Since you just experienced all of this last night and you're the lead person. And so you got to have experience and you should be used to this. So why are you reading off of a script?
Force officers,
their black and white tie,
and law enforcement partners during last night's operation and throughout the course of this investigation. We rely on the public's assistance to help keep us safe. If you see suspected criminal activity and want to report to the FBI, please call 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit tips online at tips.fbi.gov. Thank you.
Yeah, you butchered that one, bud. Make sure you put your mask back on. She comes up and takes her mask off. What is the point of this? This is stupid.
Well, with that, I just want to do a few things. First of all, I think it's important to give a shout out, at least to my staff, since I have the
give some shout outs. Gotta get some shout outs.
Ability to do that since we're in our home offices here, and I just want to, with deep gratitude, thank Solicitor General Fadwa Hammoud, Chief Deputy Christina Grassi, Chief of our Criminal Division.
Who are all these people that you're thanking? People who helped make all of this possible? Not the thwarting and stopping the plot, but making the whole thing possible.
Danielle Hageman Clark, John Pallas, our first assistant in our criminal division, the head of our hate crimes division, Sunitha Daduma.
Because, this just happened last night, and you guys have all of this information. You've already charged these people. It's just weird because, another case would take a day, couple days, a week to get this kind of information. But you guys have all of this just ready to go.
And Tom Fabus, who is the chief of our investigative unit. So I wanted to say thanks to all of you. And in addition, of course, it's always important, again, to reiterate that a criminal charge is merely an allegation and the defendants are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. But with that, I want to thank everyone up here in law enforcement and everyone who participated in this matter and who will continue, of course, to participate in this matter.
Participate?
For their incredible efforts, their very brave efforts over the course of the past many months, and to say to them that your efforts have left the people of this state safer.
Aren't these guys kind of sitting close?
And the instruments of our government strong.
Like, what's the point of having this guy here and that guy there when there's a dude, butt fucking you from behind?
And I know that I speak on behalf of Michiganders all across this state when I say that we are grateful and we are indebted to you for your actions.
How do you know, though? Like, how do you know everyone feels the exact same?
So, thank you very much.
Oh, you gotta put your mask back on. Listen to the key word here.
And it appeared to attack the state capitol building and to incite a civil war. So that's what we just learned from law enforcement officials at the federal level and the state level. I want to bring Shimon Prokupecz back. He is covering this, as well as Andrew McCabe.
What a fake bullshit story.
Who is a CNN senior law enforcement analyst. He's the former deputy director at the FBI. And
like, does it make sense now? Like, why she's governor? Like, why she's in that role? How she got so much attention? She was always on TV. Like, they kept using her and getting her, like, everyone started to know who she was all around, not just in Michigan, but all over. You know, Biden was thinking about picking her for his VP. It's all by design, because all of that was to condition you and get you ready for this big story that she's a part of.
Andrew, to you first, just take us through what is the most important thing or things that you heard during this press conference out of Michigan.
Sure, and thanks very much for having me, Brianna. This is really an incredible example of what the FBI does best with its JTTF.
Which is what? Plan and stage hoax events?
Partners on the Joint Terrorism Task Forces. I can tell you from my own experience of having dealt with literally dozens and dozens of similar plots during my own time in the FBI, that this plot has all of the hallmarks of a very, very serious and dangerous situation that we are all fortunate that the FBI and their partners have gotten in the middle of. So a couple of things really reached out to me as I listened to the conference, and I'm just referring to my notes here. First, I would point out that this is yet another violent group plotting a violent act
that is related to Donald Trump.
The FBI was able to uncover because of their presence on social media. So,
like, you know, that's where this is going, right? These aren't Biden voters and supporters that did this. Like, this will be pinned on Trump. They'll bring his name up with this.
Going onto social media and...
Oh, here's the mugshots. 3 of them have brand new MAGA hats on.
Interacting with these folks where they talk in their groups continues to be a very, very important way for the FBI.
Right, which is why we got to get online and stop those groups of people that are talking bad about the government. We've got to censor them. All part of it.
FBI and our law enforcement folks to keep us safe and to prevent these acts from happening. It was also interesting to me that they indicated the use of undercover agents. So that is a time...
What the fuck's this guy doing?
It was also interesting to me that they indicated the use of undercover...
He's got a wedgie?
Agents. So
trying to get that wedgie out of his butt crack.
That is a time test.
He did it. He did the no hands, pull the wedgie out.
It was also interesting to me that they indicated the use of undercover agents. So that is a time...
Shrug the shoulders and all.
Tested and very reliable way for the FBI to figure out very early if what they're seeing on social media is just, you know, false puffery and bravado, or if in fact it is a legitimate plot that is in action. And ultimately, you may...
And right on cue.
Political discourse angle goes, I don't think you could possibly overstate this. So let's think back just for a minute. We know that in 2016, one of the Russians' primary objectives was to sow exactly this sort of sentiment: discord, chaos, distrust in each other and in our democratic process. We also know from what the intelligence folks in our country have told us in the last few weeks that they are continuing that same campaign. But let's not be mistaken here, Brianna. The person most responsible for fomenting this sort of unrest, this sort of division,
Yes, tell us why someone plotted to kidnap and kill Gretchen Whitmer. Whose fault is it?
Sort of violence in this country right now is the president of the United States. The Russians simply have to amplify the messages that President Trump is putting out on a daily basis, constantly berating the Democrats.
Do you see where they're going with this story? This is how you know it's fake. 100% fake story.
Democratic process, claiming it's a rigged game, claiming it's replete with fraud, all of which we know is false. But it is
Oh, yeah, it's false.
exactly that sort of rhetoric that causes extremists to feel like now is the time to take action. It serves as a sort of trigger for folks who are already violent, maybe unstable, pointed in that direction anyway.
Gee, I wonder how they got violent and unstable. Maybe a lockdown, being forced to watch television?
That encouragement from someone like the President of the United States cannot possibly be overstated. It is
I told you they'd lump Trump into this.
dangerous, and we now see that happening on the streets of Michigan.
Shut
We
up.
have seen some individuals hear what the president has to say, interpret it as a call to action. Some of them are
No, that's how you interpret it, and then that's what you put on your broadcasts.